Good morning. Thank you for joining for your practice. I'm so happy to be here guiding you all. So let's begin. Just find a comfortable seated position. Or if it feels good today, you can always begin laying on your back, just beginning to find your breath. Maybe it's the first time today you've really noticed your breath or paid any deep attention to it. So notice how it flows. Notice if it's getting caught or feels shallow. Mm. Feel your shoulders gently melt down your back. Your sit bones find a real steady heaviness into the earth. Trying to come into a place of relaxed alertness. You're aware, you're tapping into your five senses, but you're relieving slowly for the next hour any pockets of tension that have built up. Maybe some you didn't even know were there. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue, relax the space around your eyes, your forehead, your scalp. On your next exhale, let out a nice long sigh. Try that again. Um, Relax your belly, your hips, your glutes, your toes, your hands. Mm. Today's practice is centered around allowing everything you're feeling to be here with you. And allowing implies a sort of tenderness. You're not gritting and bearing it. You're welcoming it in, holding space through tender love and attention. When you're ready, you can slowly blink your eyes open, or you're welcome to keep them gently closed as well. You're going to take the thumb on your right hand and close off your right nostril. And we're just going to take some nice, steady, slow inhales and exhales through the left nostril. This is our lunar channel, our divine feminine place of cooling and calming. If it feels good on the exhale, you can explore bringing a humming sound. This Brahmari breath innervates our vagus nerve, really helping to drop us into our parasympathetic nervous system, that place of resting and digesting. Mm. And on your next exhale, blocking your left nostril with any of those fingers and exhaling through the right. And then exploring your flow of breath through the right nostril. This is the yang side of yin and yang, the divine masculine, balancing the hemispheres of our brain so that we could have a really balanced practice. Mm. Feeling the way that inhale reaches all the way down into your belly and your pelvic floor, bringing fresh prana to these wounds. Mm. One more minute here. Mm. And on your next exhale, releasing your hand and coming back to your regular flow of breath. Relaxing the front of your throat, maybe giving your jaw a little wiggle, and bringing two fists to the place where your jaw meets and just giving it some circle, maybe even feeling the bottom of your cheekbone where there are like a lot of pressure points running. So Be as gentle as you'd like, or explore a little more pressure. Um, Sometimes I just do this in the middle of the day. Mm. And then bringing your hands to your throat and finding those like ropey places on either side. And just giving them a little massage, really like running up and down those ropes, pulling them, giving them some love, letting them know that you recognize all the work they do holding up your head. And you can even explore some strokes, maybe bringing it into the back of your neck with a squeeze. Resting both hands down. Going to begin with some body squares. So bringing your chest forward and open, really shining that heart space forward. Then bringing it over to the left side with a little lean. And then back, rounding that spine, belly button, pushing back. And then to the right. And just continuing just like that. Really taking some time in each place to feel it before you move on. If you find a sticky spot, just staying there for a full round of breath. And then eventually turning it into a roll, really connecting all of those points. Mm. Maybe dropping that chin down to the chest when you come to that rounded spine. Mm. When you're ready, finding some stillness back at center. Next, we're going to inhale through our nose and look to the left, and then exhale back to center. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and maybe pick up your pace. The exhale can be through your nose or through your mouth, so just explore what's best for you. Try both. We're here for another minute. And relax. Mm. Switching sides, body square, starting right, rounding back, left and forward. Exploring how your breath and your body connect through these movements, really creating your own pattern, not getting caught in it having to sound or look a certain way, but just letting your breath and your body guide you to what feels good. And then connecting them together in a rolling shape. And just really letting that feel good. Back to center. Noticing anywhere you may have just gathered some holding, some clenching. It could be anywhere. So do a quick body scan, maybe starting at your toes, moving all the way through your sacrum, up your spine, your neck, out through your arms and your fingers. And where you find that holding, visualize a flower opening. Bring breath there, a blooming sensation. And we're going to inhale and look right and exhale to center. Maybe starting slow and then picking up the pace a little bit, bringing a little bit of that fire to our practice. When we intentionally engage our sympathetic nervous system, which contributes to our fight or flight response, which is a critical human, beautiful response, animal response, I should say. When we can intentionally drop into that, what we're doing is expanding our nervous system's resilience when we're off of our mats in the world. 30 more seconds. Hmm. Next, we're going to bring our legs into a half butterfly shape. So bringing that left leg out at about a 45-degree angle, really angling it at that top left corner of your mat. And the right foot is sort of nestling or working its way toward nestling into that inner thigh. Just take a moment to sort of find your place here Maybe wiggle those toes. Maybe try to create some space between all five toes, all 10 toes. Bringing your hands to your shoulders. We're going to explore that same breath pattern we just did with the sort of quick bursts of air on the inhale and the exhale, but we're going to twist. So we're going to twist from our core back to center. So inhale, exhale. Sh, 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 sh. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. And relax. Maybe a shoulder roll and another. Maybe a tilt of your ear to your right shoulder, back, and then left, back up to center. And we're going to bring our right arm up and we're just going to reach forward so that you're sort of bringing that belly button over your leg, spiraling those right ribs down. And then bringing that left hand flat behind you, really grounded behind you, and lifting those hips slightly up. Maybe letting that head drop if it feels good. And then coming back down, reaching forward, spiraling those right ribs down, left ribs up, and then reaching back and really using that left hand to press into the floor. A couple more times at your own pace with your own breath. And relaxing down. Switching out your legs. Maybe exploring bringing space between all five toes. Maybe even using your hands to give your toes a little love, a little rub on those joints that do so much for us. Hold us up. And then bringing your hands to your shoulders. And again, this is all from that really inner core. The head sort of stays in line with you as you move. And inhaling right, exhaling center. And this can be really slight. You don't have to overextend. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Head to your left shoulder. And your right. Mm, and back to center. Taking a moment. And then spiraling that body so you're facing that right leg, bringing that arm up and over. Spiraling those left ribs down, right ribs up. So you can see that's just creating more space. And then right hand plants behind you, and you sort of gently lift up and just flowing through that at your own pace for 3 more rounds of movement. Saying, coming into a full butterfly. And you can explore heels close or further away, so you're in more of a diamond shape. Just see everything is right. Maybe finding a few body rolls here. Maybe holding on to those ankles if that feels good. Switching directions when you're ready. And if you have your bolster or a stack of pillows or a beach blanket, whatever you have, start to explore just folding over. I like to rest my forehead onto those stacked up props. Arms just really relaxed wherever it's comfortable. Everyone's shape will look different, and that is just exactly right. We're going to be here for 3 minutes so you can really let yourself wiggle and find the right shape for you. Gather your props, and then once you're there, really devoting yourself to the yin principle of stillness. Letting the waves of your breath move you. Option always to put props underneath your knees. That can feel really restful and rejuvenating. I often do that. It can be really beautiful to put your yoga blocks under there, any makeshift props. Forward folds are really good for dropping into that restful nervous system state. If you have trouble sleeping, a 5 minute forward fold in any shape with your legs can be really beneficial. 5 more full breaths. And when you're ready, really slowly rolling up with your head arriving last. Moving any props to the side. And taking that left leg and moving it behind you in a bent position. So you're in this sort of deer shape. And exploring a reach with your left arm up toward the sky and a gentle twist. And then just a really gentle one over to the right. Maybe hand rests on that left outer thigh. And again, reaching, spiraling. And then just a really subtle, gentle twist, counter twist to the left. Head can follow. Head can even look over that left shoulder. Couple more there at your own pace. Really flushing the system today with twists. Make sure you drink a lot of water today. And hugging both knees into the chest. Dropping that head down, maybe forehead touches the tops of the knees. Feeling that back open, really rounding, pulling those shoulder blades apart. Sending the breath to that back body. Maybe finding a gentle rock if that feels good. Ah, letting out a sigh on the exhale again. Ah, and one more time. Ah, mm, mm, gorgeous. And coming into deer on the other side, right leg and back, and then reaching and spiraling over to the right. And subtly, excuse me, that was the left. And then subtly to the right. My bad. Again, over to the left. And then gently to the right. Keep bringing that right glance over your right shoulder. And a couple more, your own pace. Beautiful. And meeting me in child's pose. Knees open, toes touch. This is a great, child's pose is such a great place to use a prop if you'd like. You can even put it under your hips. So we're reaching forward, reaching forward and simultaneously drawing our hips back to our heels. So it's a real pulling in both directions to create space. If you have a big nose, this can be uncomfortable. I always feel like have trouble breathing in this. So this is where a bolster running lengthwise can be really nice. Like lift your face off the floor a little bit, or you can just rest one cheek in either direction. And then walk both hands over to the right and then melt back down. Really feeling an opening in that left side body. And then walking through center over to the left. Sending your breath in between all of the ribs on that right side body. And coming back to center for a few breaths. Maybe you want to put your chin on the mat so that your throat is lying on the mat or working its way there. This can be a really vulnerable place to be, so just explore. It can really open that throat, maybe swallow a few times. See how tight that area can get. You know, the bridge between our heart and our mind and what we say and how we speak, how we express ourselves. And just sort of allowing any emotions, any thoughts that arise to be here, not to pull you under or consume you, but just to be here floating like wispy clouds in the sky of your life. Allowing it all. And really, really gently just working your way back up to seated. And coming into all fours with your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees, and maybe swinging those hips left to right. Maybe letting that head hang really heavy And then coming into some cat cows, inhaling, dropping that belly, eyes toward the sky, and then exhaling, belly button into the spine, tailbone tilts down, and moving through your cat cow, whatever they look like, whatever feels good is exactly right today. And then returning to neutral spine, extending that right leg out right alongside you, toes pointing toward the front of your mat. Left hand plants, spread those fingers really wide. That's called a hasta bandha when you create that really stable, like a rooted hand, and weight equally distributed throughout the hand for wrist protection. And then twisting up toward the sky. A full round of breath there before coming back down. And then taking that left hand and placing it behind your skull. And now that right hand is creating that hasta bandha. And then just doing a gentle twist, elbow toward the sky. And then coming back down and cycling through that with your own breath. So twisting up. Me back in all fours. Maybe a couple of cat cow. Maybe a look over your right shoulder and sending your hips to the left and then switching. So you're doing this sort of like lateral compression and opening. That can feel really good, just like wagging your tail. And then coming back to neutral and then extending that left leg out to the side, planting that right hand, finding that even distribution of weight, and then twisting that left arm up toward the sky. Full round of breath. Planting that left hand, right hand on the back of the head, and then just a gentle twist. You'll notice you have less leeway here, so just be really gentle and kind. And again, moving through that for 3 more rounds of movement. And no rush, meeting me back in all fours. We're going to come into broken toe pose. So you're going to try to tuck all 10 toes under. You can even like grab that little pinky and try to get it in the party. Um, this can be very intense. So, absolutely, option to stay leaning slightly forward in it so it's less um, less pressure. You can also explore sitting upright, but this is a really great place to be. Of course, at any time you can unflip. You want to also try to work to press those ankle bones together. It's not perfect, just trying to bring them really together. And we're going to explore some um, neck flossing while we're in this pose. We won't be here too long. So let's like shake our toes out, give them a little, and then we'll come into it again. So all 10 toes tucked under, ankle bones working together, pressure between the knees, and either leaning forward or sitting upright. We're going to take our chin and we're going to tilt it up toward the sky and then bring it down toward the right shoulder. And you're just moving through that axis. Trying to relax that jaw and those facial muscles. You're not trying to reach to feel an intense sensation. You're trying to bring a real ease to your movement, to your breath. And then coming back to neutral. And we'll do the other side. So chin tilts up toward the right and then down toward the left shoulder. And again, just moving through that axis. If you find a sticky spot, just staying for a big inhale. That breath will create the space or begin to create the space you need to bring fresh life into the tension, to begin to break it up, help it dissolve. Let your body feel safe again. You might be feeling a little fire in your toes, trying to create some ease there too. And then coming back to neutral, leaning slightly forward. Ooh, releasing those toes really gently. And just sitting back on them for a minute, maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Allowing everything that is here to be here, maybe something new rushed in, welcoming it in. And then meeting me on your back as we begin to just wind down our practice here in the last 10 minutes. We're going to just slowly roll down if you're not already there. Feet are flat on the floor. Arms are down by your side, palms up. Really trying to feel your entire back body melting into the earth. Can you imagine it as a cradle or a mother's arms holding you? Something constant, something caring. And then taking your right ankle and crossing it over the left knee, the front of the left knee, into this figure four shape. Flexing into that right foot. Maybe again trying to create space between all five toes. And then curling those toes into a fist and then pointing that ankle forward. So it's a curl and then a point. And just one more time into that ankle flexion. And curling those toes and pointing that ankle. If you'd like a little more intensity, just bringing that left foot off the floor, clasping your hands behind the left hamstrings, relaxing that right foot now, relaxing that left foot. You can even explore straightening that left leg up so the foot's toward the sky. Maybe flexing that left foot so that the foot is planting on the sky like a stamp. And then slowly bringing that down, bringing the right foot down, and taking your hands and placing them in your hip creases. Now we've done this one before. We're going to take a deep inhale, and then on the exhale, we're going to press our hands down into our hip creases. So we're sort of like creating space in that low back. So we're going to inhale, exhale, and press away from you. Thumbs are in those hip creases, pressing down toward the heels. And then releasing. Inhale, exhale, and press. Maybe inhaling while you're in that tractioning away to bring some prana into that new space we're creating. And let's try one more time. Inhale, exhale, and press away. And breathing a full breath while you're there. And then releasing. I know you can't really see me very good, so I'll just show you like my thumbs are in my hip crease right here, and that's where I'm pressing down and away on that exhale. Taking a moment that can bring things up, that can be fairly um, emotional. The sacrum holds a lot for us until we're ready to look at it, till we're ready to welcome it as a friend, as a part of us. Instead of as an enemy, we need to shun and press down and resist. A lot of energy goes into resisting. A lot of energy we could be using to love, to heal, to grow. And that's why we're here on our mats today. So really, really beautiful, beautiful practice and work. Crossing that left ankle over the right knee in your figure four. Flexing into that left foot. Creating space in your toes. And then curling those toes into a fist and pointing that ankle. And again, flex and curl and point. And if you'd like, bringing that right foot off the floor, lacing fingers behind that right hamstring. This is a beautiful place to stay, or if you'd like, extending that leg up, flexing into that right foot so it stamps onto the sky. Option to relax that left foot, or you can keep it in a flexion or a point or moving between the two. And when you're ready, bringing that down back onto the earth, both feet plant back into a neutral shape. Hug both knees into your chest and drop them over to the left side. And then open your upper body so your chest is facing the sky, arms are in a T shape. This is a great place to use props. You could put your bolster pillow between your knees or underneath the left knee to bring the earth closer to you. You could put something underneath your right shoulder blade if it's not quite on the earth. Explore and then find stillness. We're here for 5 deep breaths. Mm. And at the bottom of your next exhale, pulling up on your pelvic floor, squeezing those muscles, and bringing your knees back up to center. And then dropping them over to the right side, adjusting any props as needed. And then finding stillness for 5 deep breaths. And at the bottom of your next exhale, pushing out all of that breath, pulling up on that pelvic floor, knees back up to the chest. Maybe hugging those knees in, rocking side to side. And give it one more tight squeeze, maybe reaching for opposite wrists or opposite elbows, curling in that forehead toward the knees, hug, and then release everything out into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Really giving yourself all of the benefits of this final integration. Scanning your body for where you can bloom instead of clutching. Maybe taking a few deep sighs on that exhale. And I'm going to end with reading part of a poem while you stay in your restful shape. The poem is by Khalil Gibran. It's called A Tear and a Smile. I would not exchange the sorrows of my heart for the joys of the multitude, and I would not have the tears that sadness makes to flow from my every part turn into laughter. I would that my life remain a tear and a smile, a tear to purify my heart and give me understanding of life's secrets and hidden things, a smile to draw me nigh to the sons of my kind and to be a symbol of my glorification of the gods, a tear to unite me with those of broken heart, a smile to be a sign of my joy in existence. I wish you all a beautiful Sunday with love and light and a deep, deep appreciation that we are all in this together. Namaste.